Hi, we're here at Google I/O. My name is Brad Newberg. I'm with the Open Web Advocacy team. And we've got Charles McCarthy-Neville from Opera and David Story.
Hey.
Also from Opera.
Also from Opera. With a great, really cool Opera heavy metal t-shirt. It's very nice. So everyone knows what Opera is. So I wanted to jump in. What kinds of things are you involved with right now? What are some new interesting things that Opera is working on these days?
I'd say one of the big things we have now, which we're developing, is Opera Dragonfly, which is our web developer tools, which is similar to something like Firebug, except it's architected that it can work on any device. So you can use it on your mobile phone and you connect through a proxy to the desktop computer. Instead of having to use emulators and things like that, you can debug directly from the phone. So that's something very interesting we're doing. Also, I guess Opera widgets is something which is getting big takeoff in the mobile space with things like Vodafone and T-Mobile.
So they're no longer Opera widgets, like W3C widgets, because 2-3 years ago, when every man and their dog was building a widgets or the gadgets or whatever you want to call them, Opera went to W3C and said, everyone's doing this, let's make one version that everybody can use, so developers don't have to code 8 times. And that's something we're doing. We're doing some other stuff. We put out a geolocation build, like the Google contributed an editor and a spec. Opera's done implementation of geolocation before, so we made a build you can do that. We're working on 3D canvas in Kronos, which is with Mozilla and looking at the O3D and different ways of doing that. There's a whole heap of stuff about access to your platform. So being able to use the camera or being able to send an SMS if you've got a phone connection or a network, like a phone card plugged into your laptop, being able to access information like the address book or your calendar stuff. So you can do things like have your web information and your local information connect to each other and synchronize better. Just make it more flexible.
What are some sort of, there's technologies that have been around that are starting to mature, like SVG, and there are sort of newer technologies coming down the pipe, like geolocation. What are some technologies that you're particularly excited about that finally seem like they're getting in front of developers, and what are some of the newer technologies that you're also excited about?
I think things which are starting to get in front of developers, things like Canvas is starting to really take off. A lot of people are using that. Something which I think is a bit of a sleeper hit is SVG, as you mentioned. It's getting very good support in browsers, except for one obvious browser which doesn't support it, which I know you're doing work on trying to rectify that with the plugin you're developing. So I think as we get things like that supported, IE supported, that will start taking off and will become a real platform where you can develop to, like what Flash has been for so long.
Just to add in really quick, it's just a JavaScript toolkit, not a plugin. So.
Right, sure.
So, I mean, I think that the location in particular, but a lot of the device access stuff, it's exciting. It's going to let developers do cool things. One of the reasons I actually find it exciting is the security aspects are incredibly serious. Giving out physical location is a really big deal, and the technology, we've had the technology for a long time.
Right.
What's bringing it out to developers is people saying, if we get the security right, then we can do some cool stuff. It's time to get the security right. And that's actually going back and translating back to the rest of the web and saying, if we get security right and let people understand what they're doing, then we can do more interesting things across the whole web.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a really exciting trend that you won't see it. It's not a technology that you pick up. It's a way of using the web that will just change the paradigm gently and very radically.
I've actually heard this from members of the Internet Explorer team, that it's not about functionality as much as it's about security and the user interface around security. How do you make a UI that can go in front of hundreds of millions of people that they can understand and that will remain...
That they get and that they use. Because what we have today, we say the certificate expired, do you want to continue? And we, the experts, hit yes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of it is, there is some technical stuff about securing things, and the technical bits are generally reasonably well understood.
Right.
The UI, it's really, really hard. And
I don't think anyone's solved that yet.
No, it's an ongoing and changing problem. And security in general is, but figuring out the way people behave is crucial and difficult.
Yeah. So I think one more question. Finishing with one more question. What do you see as some significant unsolved problems? So lots of attention's happening around these things we talked about. What is some sort of unique thing that you think hasn't gotten as much focus and could be a place for future growth and direction?
So security stuff. Looking at dealing with text. Having live text and building text editors and building authoring software on the web. At the moment, it's kind of messy. You can build a packaged native application, C++ program, and download it. But getting good authoring systems so that people can create content. You look at what people do and they type some pseudo markup in blog stuff, and it's garbage, right? Let's figure out how to make that 1,000 times better.
And the hacks necessary to really make it full feature or unbelievable. You can do it, but it's hard.
Exactly.
Right. At the moment, the reason why we have crap is partly because the technology doesn't actually give us all of the things we need yet.
That's right.
And building that up. And the other thing, accessibility is always a challenge. And there's a lot of new work that, like always, just ignores accessibility and leaves it until some other time.
It's a very tricky issue.
And getting that into front and center when you start developing, not after you've done it and tried to deal with it.
And you've got the formats issue as well, where things like video, for instance, there's no standard codec, and there's a lot of fear and uncertainty over things like Ogtheora. Is there submarine patents, is there not? Then of course there's the fonts issue with their format, where Microsoft has their own EOT, and then there's TrueType, and there's the issues with the foundries, whether we're allowed to use TrueType fonts. So getting across browser, everyone to agree which formats to use is, to me, a big problem.
And quality.
Quality.
Speed and quality. These are permanently unsolved problems because we want more.
Always,
Infinite problems.
So
any final words, any final thoughts?
Well, I would say if you can download Opera, give it a try, give us some feedback. If your website works, doesn't work, give us some feedback. You can email me, dstoryopera.com, if you have any issues.
So just to close, what is some really, really unique feature of Opera that would really compel users to want to check it out?
One of the features that users really love is Speed Dial. It's a grid on the front page and make a new tab where you put your 9 favorite sites, and you can use a shortcut. Like for the first position, if you type 1 in the URL field, it will go to your favorite number 1 site.
Unique, right? Because now it's in Chrome and Safari's copying it.
Opera's always been a leader in UI innovations. Opera came up with the tab, as far as I understand, the browser tab.
And sessions.
Things like this. So, Opera produces new UI innovations.
So we'll probably have sync in the next version of Opera, which might be in 2 versions of Firefox later. So if you want to try the new features, try Opera.
We will have something in the next version of Opera, and we're not allowed to tell you yet.
Okay, but it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.